The Three Robbers narrative provides a great metaphorical insight into the thick forests of human nature and life. With their different behaviors and goals, every robber represents the interaction among the three Gunas: Tamas, Rajas, and Sattva. Rooted in Indian philosophy, these ancient Sanskrit words capture the basic traits controlling not only human behavior but the whole universe. While Sattva marks purity and harmony, Tamas stands for inertia and ignorance, Rajas for activity and desire. These gunas taken together create the foundation of reality and the range of human experience. Originally addressed in the Sankhya school of Indian philosophy, the idea of the gunas goes much beyond personal psychology. It offers a structure for grasping the dynamics of transcendence, action, and creation. These attributes apply not only to people but also to every element of nature, so affecting physical objects, social systems, and spiritual activities. The gunas are, at the cosmic level, the threads of Prakriti, the basic material nature, interacting with Purusha, the pure consciousness. From the most physical objects to the most delicate emotions, this interaction produces the several phenomena of the universe. Prakriti is explained in the Sankhya philosophy as the three gunas' equilibrium. When Prakriti encounters Purusha, so upsetting this equilibrium and starting the creation process. From this interaction, the several ways of expressing reality surface. Every entity, human, tree, or even inanimate object included, has all three gunas in different ratios. These ratios control their character and nature. A rock might be dominated by tamas because of its stillness and inertia. A flame might reflect rajas through its activity and energy. Likewise, a clear, serene lake might show sattva in its reflective and peaceful character. This triadic framework also reaches human psychology and personality. A tamas-dominated person might show lethargy, ignorance, and attachment to ineffective behaviors. Driven by ambition, restlessness, and insatiable need for sensory pleasures, someone influenced by rajas might find. On the other hand, a sattvic person shows traits of knowledge, harmony, and a great degree of peace. These gunas, meanwhile, are dynamic. Influenced by diet, surroundings, behavior, and ideas, they vary inside each person over the day and through many phases of life. A foundational work in Indian philosophy, the Bhagavad Gita offers great understanding of the part gunas play in spiritual growth and daily life. It underlines that although sattva is the most fit quality for spiritual development, one must finally transcend all three gunas to reach emancipation, moksha. The Gita notes in chapter 14 the traits of those who transcend the gunas, those who treat gold and dirt with equal respect, keep equanimity among pleasure and suffering, and are unaffected by praise or guilt. Realizing the self's unity with Brahman, the infinite consciousness beyond all duality and qualities, this transcendence stands for the ultimate aim of spiritual practice. Socially speaking, the gunas also provide understanding of society's framework. Old Indian customs match the idea of gunas with the Varna system, which divided people into 4 groups according to their main traits and aptitudes. People with sattvic tendencies, for instance, were suited for positions calling for wisdom and direction, that of teachers or priests, while those with tamasic tendencies helped to support and labor for society. Those with rajasic qualities were natural leaders and fighters. Although this system sought to bring people together by matching their natural traits to their social roles, its later distortion into strict caste hierarchies resulted in notable social inequality. But the original intention shows a knowledge of how gunas interact to shape individual potential and society well-being. The interaction of the gunas serves not only a philosophical but also a useful tool for self-awareness and personal development. Understanding that one owns a certain guna helps one to deliberately balance and grow in harmony. An individual with too much tamas could find themselves caught in confusion or apathy. Rajasic activities, that is, physical exercise or interesting chores, can boost energy and drive. By means of meditation, mindfulness, or acts of kindness, cultivating sattva helps to bring balance, so preventing this from spiraling into the overactivity and stress linked with rajas. The gunas are much influenced by environment, lifestyle, and diet as well. For example, a sattvic diet calls for fresh, whole, natural foods that boost vitality and clarity. On the other hand, a tamasic diet, defined by processed, stale, or too heavy foods, may cause lethargy and negativity. Likewise, if not balanced with sattvic elements, a rajasic diet, often spicy or energizing, may agitate the mind as well as energize it. Other ways to improve sattva and promote inner peace are surrounding oneself with good influences, pursuing artistic interests, and practicing thankfulness. Managing and transcending the gunas is closely related with spiritual practice. In yoga, the ultimate goal is to experience the unchangeable self by rising above the variations of the gunas. This process consists in developing awareness and detachment, since the gunas are characteristics of prakriti rather than the self. Though the highest of the three, the Gita teaches that even sattva must be given up to reach emancipation. This detachment suggests a deep awareness that the actual self exists outside all attributes as pure consciousness, not apathy. Different psychological and scientific models also provide analogs for modern understanding of the gunas. The tamasic state fits the idea of cognitive inertia, where the mind clings to known patterns and resists change. Often found in today's very competitive societies, the rajasic state reflects the drive of ambition and the stress of constant activity. Sattva matches mindfulness, emotional intelligence, and the state of flow defined in positive psychology. Seeing these states through the prism of gunas offers a whole approach for personal development and well-being. The gunas also provide a prism through which one might examine moral behavior and judgment. In ethical conundrums, a rajasic person might act impulsively or out of self-interest, while a tamasic person might avoid action entirely. A sattvic approach would call for careful thought, compassion, and responsibility. Growing sattva improves not only one's own pleasure, but also one's capacity to favorably influence relationships and society. Transcending the gunas means realizing the unchanging observer inside instead of identifying with the always shifting characteristics of the mind and body. The dynamics of prakriti and its gunas have not changed this observer, sometimes known as purusha. Practices including self-examination, meditation, and dedication help people arrive at this insight. As the Gita stresses, the road is realizing the impact of the gunas, striving for equilibrium, and finally transcending their control to feel the freedom of the self. The account of the three thieves captures this great trip. Driven by ignorance, the tamasic robber stands in for the challenges we must face. Active but conceited, the rajasic robber represents the vitality needed to negotiate obstacles. Like the ending of the story, the sattvic robber, wise and sympathetic, guides us toward clarity, but cannot travel with us to that end. Liberation comes from the transcendence of all gunas, which lets us live as pure, unconditioned consciousness free from dualities and limitations.